as a chairperson in our coordinating committee. And now I will try to change the slide, and please let me know if there isn't any movement on your eyes in that room that you are now having this seminar. Well, Saulius told us that you have already discussed about Struve, and you have celebrated perhaps Struve's birthday there already. But let me take a couple of notes about the history of Struve linked with this coordinating committee thing. So, as you know, this serial nomination was done in year 2005 in Durban, South Africa, where this World Heritage Committee decided that Struve would be a new site. And this was a result of long and very fruitful cooperation of these 10 Struve countries to have this kind of first transboundary nomination in the history of World Heritage Sites. And in this nomination document, there is, of course, a very exact specific description of the arc location and protecting buffer zones by these most prominent points, which, for example, in Finland, we have 6 points. And as I told you earlier that I'm now traveling in the northern part of Finland, I'm going to visit one of our prominent point called Aavasaksa. At the moment, I'm sitting at the restaurant, and it's about 10 kilometers from here to climb up the mountain and see that specific place. And also in that nomination document, there was a first version of this mutual management mechanism mentioned and described because, of course, there has been this fruitful cooperation before the nomination was done. So we can say more or less that this kind of coordinating council or committee has already worked more than 20 years. And there has been also a description of role of this coordinating committee in that same nomination document. And there is still some issues and things continuing which are based on that nomination. But then I have to say that this ongoing Ukraine war has challenged this co-working, but it hasn't stopped. And I hope that it will continue someday, so that kind of level that it was supposed to mean. As you know, that at the moment we don't have any kind of mutual things with Russia and Belarus. And then Saulius asked me to mention what would be the main functions or tasks that this coordinating committee should do or is doing while we are having the administration of this World Heritage Site. So I would say that one of the main tasks or function is to administrate this Struve geodetic arc as a one wholeness. But of course, we have or should have management plans at the national level in every Struve country. And one of the very big tasks is to give a detailed periodic report to UNESCO World Heritage Committee, and that happens in every 6th year. And the last time it was done 2022. And I would like to thank also our Swedish colleagues leading us to do this periodic report. And I remember that it took a few teams meetings to have this information laid on together. And this report is quite a large one. It takes more than 100 pages to give answers, different kind of questions, how we have administrated the site, what kind of things has or have affected at the national level our World Heritage Site, what kind of promotions we have had, what kind of renewals we have had, and so on and so on. And one very important thing is to observe the status of Struvės geodetic arc, generally speaking. And generally speaking, our site is well maintained. At the moment, we are having a work group making and creating the common and collective and more detailed management plan for Struvės geodetic arc. And that should be a kind of umbrella document to give information and to give support all Struvės countries to make updated plans for these 10 Struvės countries. Then something more. Of course, our committee will give some guidance and instructions in, for example, in long-time preservation, if there is needed for this kind of discussions. We have meetings linked with Struvės geodetic arc protection and some practical issues whenever needed. And we should compile every kind of activities that we have done every year and every Struvės country. And we should advance different kind of educational issues which are linked with our site, and of course promote scientific research possibilities. And then we have a kind of archive to storage to photos and videos and slides. And I assume that perhaps you have already watched our latest celebration or anniversary video there at your seminar, or if you haven't yet done that, perhaps you will do that later on. Then something about what's going in Finland at the moment, and that's the one reason that I'm now visiting in northern part of Finland, is to renew our own management plan at the national level. And the second reason, for example, me to visiting here in the northern part of Finland, in Ylitornio, is that tomorrow we are going to have a meeting, and our aim is to form and create a regional governance body here in northern part of Finland, which would include 3 station points: Aavasaksa, Alatornio Church, and Stuarahono-Aivi near to border of Norway. And this kind of governance bodies would be kind of committees or councils where there is persons to make contribution from their expertise, knowledge. And we would like to make very clear positions for shared responsibilities and assignments, so we can maintain our level, Struvės geodetic well level in Finland. Then in Finland there is no kind of info center or visitor center yet for Struvės geodetic arc, and we have now planned more than 5 years that we should have that kind of place. And we try to make it very hard with the Petäjävesi Old Church, which is one of our Finnish World Heritage site, also one of our oldest site. That kind of place near that old church that we could make a permanent status and permanent exhibition about Struvės geodetic arc. And of course, the idea, this peace idea of UNESCO, and of course this Petäjävesi Old Church. And then one thing which is going on still in Finland is to participate working with an association of World Heritage Sites in Finland, which is included of 7 UNESCO sites at the moment. And we tried very eagerly affect in the field of national World Heritage strategy and versatile national resources. For example, to make sure that we will have money enough to develop and money enough to protect our sites, and of course promote to knowledge to common citizens knowledge about UNESCO World Heritage Sites. And then there is, of course, a little slide of this Nordic World Heritage networking going on. We have conferences and forums in Scandinavian countries, and it was 2 weeks ago that we have our Nordic conference in Denmark. Last year it was in Finland, and next year it will be in Sweden. So we will have a very tight communication with Scandinavian countries. And of course, last but not least, we see in Finland that it's very important promote in every way Struvės geodetic arc knowledge in many levels, for example, in educational, in tourism, and in business levels. So that was quite shortly to tell about these tasks of committee and what's going on in Finland at the moment. And there is a picture of me to be so thrilled to visit at least one time in Stuarahonoaivi near the Norwegian borderline. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ulla. Thanks a lot. I just wonder if the audience has any question to Ulla. If not, I have a short question. I know that you have a quite comprehensive management plan in Finland. So how frequently you are updating this management plan, and how wide range of authorities participate in the management activities of Struvės geodetic arc in Finland?
Well, I have to be very honest on this question. Updating is not so often done, and we should be that more precise and to do that more often that we have done. So our management plan is not so new, but it is quite tight and it's well, how to say, it's working. It's still working, but there is some factors like climate change, which is not mentioned at all, and perhaps to make our site more achievable in Finland, that kind of things. So, and of course the resources, they are not so wide anymore. For example, when we are talking about euros, unfortunately, at the moment. And we try to involve the different kind of authorities. Of course, that's the one question that we are discussing tomorrow here in northern part of Finland. There is authorities which are coming out from museums, some other state authorities and municipalities, and from business life, and some volunteering associations, if there is some associations which are working or which are eager to take part of this kind of cultural preserving. So to put it short, we try to catch quite a many actors that we could have, so we can compile different kind of views and find new ways to solve problems. And of course, tourism is one of the key factor if we want to have tourists and interested persons to visit on our site. And then we have to remember, of course, that there have to be roads maintained, and there have to be some facilities which are taken care of, like toilets or dustbins and that kind of things.
Thank you very much, Ulla. Thanks a lot. And I don't dare to disturb you in your trip to the countryside. So thanks a lot, and I really appreciate it that you have a possibility to join us there. So have a nice time in your activities.
Thank you, and I hope that you will have a very nice end of the seminar and enjoy about discussions about Struvė, because that's very important and very, as I told, it's like a pearl in our crown to have this kind of cultural World Heritage Site in our countries. That joins us together, and that gives us strength to perhaps see more possibilities to find solutions, different kind of challenges that we are having at the moment.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.